Ooh, I'm muted. Hello, everybody.
Hello! At last, we have
Woo.
gotten a session together.
We have
Is it all
arrived.
an illusion?
Ugh.
Is this the real life, or is it just fantasy?
We'll get this one session in, and then we're gonna not have the next four.
Yeah.
Probably.
Welcome to the last. Welcome to the last session of 2025, everybody.
Welcome to the last
Yay!
session. This is it.
Last session of the 2020s, nuclear war. Let's go, baby!
Okay. So, before we begin, quick small announcement. I am looking into getting Restream up and running, and assuming I'm able to do that properly, it will mean the revival of my Twitch channel. So, assuming all goes well, all future streams will also be available on Twitch if that is where you prefer to be. So, yeah.
Heck yeah! Cool.
Two timing.
My mother here.
All right. So, where were we?
Yeah, this parsnip is almost too bitey. Wow. Oh.
We were last in the Gnomish city, wherein access to the archives had been sought for information that each member of the party really has in mind. And then from there, the campaign is kind of your oyster once again, which you may do with as you might wish. Although I will at least ask, where possible, don't try and get into combat, if only for the fact that not only do we not have the overview or the overlay, there we go, prepared for jumping into a combat scenario, I also don't have any kind of maps like made, as there is not.
We don't need math. We only need violence.
Quick, Lisa, punch the nearest pedestrian.
Punch the nearest pedestrian. Good
Oh,
heavens.
an old woman
Ew.
be. What is Lisa's signature wrestling move?
The fucking Bane special. She just lifts you over her head, brings you down on her knee.
Oh, pretty brutal.
I need to give her Traveling Brawler just so she can throw hands.
Alright, I believe specifically the last thing that was actually going on, like, properly was that, Zerzan and... Actually, what am I kidding? Recap man! Koga, go!
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
No, you're clone.
I believe last time on Dragon Ball Z, we have finally arrived into the Gnome city proper. We have more or less made it into the actual city. We sort of learned that they have these rather high-tech, or perhaps more magical, more or less floating cars, train systems, what have you, rotating walls. Like, it is basically would be impossible to find this kingdom if you did not have a direct invite in. And it seems to be rather advanced, both magically and technologically. We have been given not quite a tour yet. We have been more or less told like where some stuff is, but we seem to be waiting for Zerzan to lead us to where we have to do. There is a huge debate on whether or not it's good for the gnomes to be so isolationist and not sharing the technology with Lisa and Zerzan actually coming to an agreement that such information should in fact be spread, with Davin taking more of the route that no, it is good for this knowledge to be kept secret. But that hasn't exactly led anywhere, except we have known where that there is like a philosophy like location. Like apparently, like various topics of debate are divided into specific buildings where one can have said debates or research or what have you. And if I remember correctly, we are here specifically on behalf of Mara, who seems to have something she needs to get, ask, or otherwise know. And as well as Zerzan also having her own sort of agenda of why she's returned and what she may want from here.
Nuclear launch codes.
Thermo magical bombs. We have also brought along hope for this particular journey. So, werewolf boy in the middle of the city, what will he do?
Probably be pretty.
Oh yeah, and there was a very small contest between Lisa and Zerzan to compare Lisa's strength to that of Colossus, where it was actually pretty damn close.
Okay, heck yeah.
Something like that.
Thank you, Captain Recap. Always a pleasure to have your services handy at any given moment.
The recaptain, one might say.
Oh, I forgot one
like
thing.
that.
Actually, Mara died super violently last session. It was like super brutal.
Yeah,
Got thrown down a cliff face.
it's so weird. She just randomly exploded into gold.
She stepped in front of one of the vehicles and was hit at like 200 miles per hour.
Alright, I'm gonna start rolling damage dice if we don't lock in.
Alright, I rage, so I'm gonna take half damage from all physical.
Okay, so you guys have kind of been putzing outside the halls for quite a while, and I believe at this point it'd be well within reason for Nerman to return, and with a bright smile, he scurries up to the party and claps his hands together and rubs them all excitedly, and then without even saying anything, just waves you after to follow.
I believe that is our cue. Then Gavin starts walking in very excitedly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I presume everybody else will be quite readily following as well.
Everyone else stays outside.
Well, everyone except maybe Mickey. She doesn't seem too keen on following.
I don't want to see the cool gnome tech.
I want to kill people, says Mickey.
Yo, her and Lisa both are so real for that.
Lisa gets find familiar, just summons Mickey.
Lost music plays.
All right. Well,
Dark
presuming
Souls
everybody
Hellfire.
follows after,
Dark Souls
presuming everybody
Hellfire.
follows after,
Yeah.
then what you see is, okay, so just for like visual simplicity, does everybody know from the PlayStation 2/Xbox 360 version of Star Wars Battlefront 2, the
No.
Coruscant map?
Croissant? Yeah.
Okay,
Vaguely.
everybody except Koga, I suppose.
Get good, Koga.
The only fucking Star Wars game I've played is Battlefront 2 on Xbox One, and I don't
Yeah.
think you're exactly.
Yeah, get good,
No.
Koga.
Sadly, not the same map. Okay, so pillars, bookshelves, like gorgeous archways. This is very much the we want this to look like the prettiest, bordering on Greco-Roman library that you can imagine. Marbled floors, like seating, chairs, lighting, tables for debate. Like you're walking through this place and you're like, dang, they got a lot of cool stuff. Lecturing rooms, like it's some odd amalgam between library and like almost school in a way. And as you go through, you're led deeper and deeper past still more rooms, lectures on different philosophies, histories, and so on. And what you see is that Nerman is leading towards the complete opposite end of what appears to be just a long, contiguous hallway from that entryway door all the way down to this opposite end, where all of these other spaces are kind of offshoots to the left and right, or even taking staircases up above you, some with bridges coming overhead. And as you get about a third of the way down, you see that where you're being led to is a quite enormous vault door with what appear to be 3 levels of armed guards.
Levels of armed guards. What?
You can
Wait,
see
3 whole
guards.
levels? We're doing XP leveling now? Alright. Alright, for all this.
It's a lot of guards.
Mm-hmm. It is indeed. It is a well-protected vault door. And unless you guys deviate any, then you are led actually up to it directly. Upon arriving, you all are approached by 2 more guards, which seem to come from protected doorways to the left and right of the vault door, where it might be that they have little guard posts in for rotating shifts. And these few are looking at you both, at you all, and one of them asks, all right, what you'll have to do is surrender any items, equipment, or anything other than basic note-taking tools. Effectively, all you're permitted to bring in here is normal pen and paper.
Pipe bomb. Sorry. I don't really think Zurza would have much else on her in the first place. She would have, like, her, I guess, on her, like, coveralls and belts and stuff, she would probably still have her, like, pouches of tools, but those are just, like, tongs and little hammers for making stuff. Is that not allowed?
They kind of like as you're looking over your gear, they kind of give you a once over as well. Says, any weapons you might have, we'll ask you to leave, but I think the rest of your handy tools there should be acceptable.
She's an artificer. All her tools are weapons. That's the
point. They ain't counting on my infusions.
So you can like lift up the throng and throw like a max level fireball if he wants.
Well, I guess the only thing she would have physically on her that she would need to leave behind is the blowgun that she got when you're in the Dwarven Kingdom.
Okay.
But otherwise, I don't think. Otherwise, her weapons are only used with the Colossus. Because I don't think someone as small as a gnome is going to be handling a full-size Morning Star that easily.
Probably not that easily, no.
That's all she shouldn't have to leave behind, I believe.
Alright. The guard spies you next, Lisa, and is looking rather pointedly at your personage.
All the armor, everything. Armor makes books smell weird.
Take off your clothes.
Alright, I guess this has turned into the strip club library now.
Yeah!
Vegeta turns to Krillin and Gohan. Strip.
Lisa will look very almost visibly uncomfortable as she does begin like removing every single weapon she has on her and then begins taking off the armor.
He holds the hand up at the armor, says, it doesn't have any magical properties.
Wow. Okay, so nod. I mean, okay, say so. And this will look to our crystal great sword, raise an eyebrow, very hesitantly hands it out. She knows very well the enchantment on it that makes it like anyone else unable to lift it. So she's like very carefully handing it over, like putting like on the floor, like stepping back.
He shakes his head and then points to a little cart where some of the rest of her stuff has already been placed.
So nod, pick it up, and then put it on top of the pile. Her fucking 4 javelins, 4 different hand axes, her great axe and dagger. Her fucking see how like an armory on her.
My gosh.
Her wrapped to the gills like an early Assassin's Creed protagonist.
When the fuck does he get a steal?
Drops a Glock out of her pocket. When did you get that?
Pulls out the fucking laser gun that Zergen had. One of the batteries falls out of her pocket.
Immediately explodes.
Time slows down. Mississippi Queen starts playing.
Right, freeze track, freeze frame. You might be wondering how I got here.
Welcome to the live stream where we see how many dumb references we can string together into one joke.
Oh.
quite a few at this
One
rate.
eternity later.
All right. I mean, it'll take about that long for Lisa to appropriately disarm herself.
Ugh.
And then, yeah, next in order is Mara.
Yeah, Mara walks up and she just starts placing down a small pile of magic items onto the tray.
Yeah, as you just pile these on, the guard, like, increasingly raises an eyebrow. Like, just kind of see, like, almost behind his eyes, you can sort of see him thinking, dang.
I like to shop, Sumi.
Girls be
Good
shopping.
taste. All the guard says is just good taste. And then, that cart is wheeled back into the little guard post, and another is brought out. And then, Gavin, you're up.
Oh, boy. So, DM question.
Yeah.
Do they care about the bag of holding?
Yes.
Okay. Next question. I have
Yes.
technically a number of items on me that are part of my character's actual, like, character class features.
I mean, if they are operated as a physical item, then they would need to be surrendered.
Am I related? Some of Lisa's armor is in fact magical. Would she have to like put those parts onto the pile?
As you may remember, the guard did ask if there were any magical qualities to your armor.
Oh, I thought he said that they weren't, and I just alright, my bad. Carry
What
on, and I'll answer it afterwards.
What about ones that I can put into my little extra
Your extra what?
extra dimensional vault? Because if we really bend the rules with this feature, I could technically just put all of my shit in there. The only real limit mechanically is of the items that are permanently a part of the magic item collection feature. I can only you select one of them to use per day. So since last session I chose the Ring of Telekinesis, it would.
I will say let's not worry about that for now. I will determine further in a moment. But yeah, you're basically doing just as everybody else and emptying out your pockets.
Oh boy. Okay, so first thing, he takes off his Helm of Brilliance, sets it down, takes out, let's see, takes off his boots of Elvenkind. He pulls out Wand of Magic Detection, Magic Missiles, Paralysis, Wand of Secrets, puts down his +1 rapier, his dancing sword, takes off his Ring of Telekinesis, because that was already on. Puts down the Bag of Holding. Puts down the Ocarina whistle that no one else has known about this entire time. puts down an arrowhead, a mirrored prism. Takes about 5 minutes to unravel bandages that are just around his arms. Puts down a very strange-looking, old-looking device, the antediluvian dynamo. Puts down a literal lich's death mask. Puts down another gear that no one has actually seen before. And then,
just real quick, the guard looks between you and Lisa and says, "You both related?"
Lisa looks over to Davin. Do we look related?
No, I'm about 150 years too old.
Could have fooled me, guards.
Do we look related? Lisa's literally like, you dumbass.
And
looking as stupid.
Finally, Gavin, he simply holds up a few more things. Thieves' tools. He sets those down. And his water skin, because he keeps water with him. Am I allowed to bring in my towel, my deck of cards, and this magnifying glass?
What's the nature of the deck of cards?
Oh, simple Taroka cards. Nothing more.
Leave them if you would.
And he'll set those down.
I think you're clear. Unless you want to remove your ears or something.
He casts the fucking spell that lets you remove your limb without problem.
Yeah, no, Gavin can do that. Gavin smirks quite wryly and simply says, "Don't tempt me."
Guard chuckles a little more and rolls his eyes, waves you along.
And in all of that, my AC is still 18 because fuck everything.
Okay. Kitty,
They don't
Kitty
have to
you
know
guys,
about
right?
werewolf. Yes, I believe she was.
She kind of holds up her hands and declines, like with an awkward, sheepish smile, and says, "We'd be here even longer if I started." I mean, and she looks to the rest of you. Unless you all have 3 to 5 business days?
Gavin chuckles a bit. We'll come back here another, love.
If we're allowed to.
Okay. Next up, Hope walks over. Hope, like, he starts to, like, climb himself onto the cart and sort of second guesses it, steps back off, reaches up, takes the little flower out of his hair, puts that on the cart, and then nods quite satisfiedly. And he looks at the rest of you and says, "I'm technically magical, so I thought maybe I have to be put away and taken out later, but no, I'm a people, it's fine."
You heard him, Ma.
I'm a people.
All right, climb in.
We don't have to climb into the car tomorrow.
I'm a people. Yeah, whatever you have to tell yourself, kid.
Lisa goes, "Oh wait, everything?" She like starts leaving off her magical tattoos. Like takes a dagger to it.
Oh golly. Okay. And then with that, the guards take your stuff. And they kind of make sure you guys can see, or they, open a slot on the side and kind of wheel the carts in. They're almost like lockers with lifting doors from the ground, and then they lock each one individually with each of you guys' stuff in there. And then the guard that was doing the asking of you, he shows the key and then tucks it into his armor. So, you can see, I've got it, your stuff's safe and sound. Now, walk up to the door, and we'll unlock it for you.
Oh, DM, do holy symbols count? Because Gavin still has his little holy symbol.
No, I don't think they'd ask for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did get
Oh,
kind
good.
of
I can still cast.
I did get a little tripped up because Lisa does, in fact, possess magical armor. I misunderstood you. Specifically, her armor pauldrons has like feather fall on it, and her belt is magic.
All right. So then, as you all step toward the door, there is a shimmer of light, which passes down from the tops of your heads all the way to the bottom, and yeah, there's a for you, Lisa, and then the guard
got me.
The guard kind of looks at you, puts his palm out, kind of like makes the hand it over type of motion.
Caesar sort of looks over, like looks kind of confused for a moment, blinks. Oh, right, yeah. and she does indeed begin taking off her armor fully, and hands over both that and the belt.
Yep. And he walks over, unlocks the one locker, places it in there, relocks it, and waves you back over to the rest.
She goes back through again, and it bings again. It's like, all right, takes 7 magical daggers out of her bra.
The fucking magic mark she has on her, like the fucking dragon mark and like the fucking dragon tattoo, dinks off.
Just slices the tattoo off. Here you go.
All right. Focus in, guys. Okay, so you are scanned over once again, though nothing else actually sets it off. Whatever it is determining for, it doesn't flag anything you are wearing. And after that, a shield projects up around you, basically cutting you off from the remainder of the structure. So now it's basically just you and the guards as the door begins to unlock. We hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 different locking mechanisms actuating and opening before this vault door actually unseals and opens, revealing that this is an airlock vault door, and there's another one of similar construction on the opposite side. The guard waves you forward. Go on, step in. Remain still as the doors cycle. And as you step in, it's noticeable that the bustle and noise from outside is now almost halved in volume, and as the guards step in after you, about 3 of them, and the outer vault door closes, it is silent enough that you are quite capable of hearing your own breathing. It is an incredibly soundproofed room. You can even feel the pressure change as the vault door is closed, the air is cycled, and the interior vault door, this one not with 20 different locking mechanisms, but 40 of them, actuates and unlocks, and this interior door opens. What you are presented with is a cylindrical room with a column in the middle and what appears to be an elevator platform. Zers and anybody else that's played the original Halo Combat Evolved, if you remember the library elevator, kind of imagine that sort of an idea. A very big, flat platform with a console to operate it. And then the column in the middle. For as far as you can see above you, there are levels with small, glowing, like little rectangles about the size of a book. These line every single surface. One of the guards walks up to the console and operates it, and the elevator illuminates. With a soft humming, it comes to life, and the guard then asks, "Welcome to the archives. Here you can find virtually every piece of information which we have saved and documented. We will be retrieving each piece of information anyone here desires, one at a time. Zerzan, it will be up to you to determine what piece of information they need, and then you will relay it to me so that I can get us to the appropriate level, and then you may hand the information over to whichever of your friends has asked for it. Is that clear?"
Can you run that by me one more time? Just to make sure I don't mess anything up.
Of course. Zerzan, you will go and determine between your friends what information they seek. You'll take their request to me. I will then find each one at a time. Whenever your friend is finished with that piece of information, we will return it and then retrieve the next one. Does that make sense?
Understood.
So, please go see amongst your friends.
All right. She will step over to where everyone else is and kind of wave them over to gather around. And she'll just say, "All right. In the interest of keeping certain things under wraps that should be, she'll kind of grab her notebook and pen off of her like belt, and she'll be like, "If you have something you are looking for, write it down." And she just kind of holds the book out to whoever would take it first. She'd be like, just write it down. If it's something you don't want other people to know about, I have some things. You'll forgive me for being a little secretive myself that I'm gonna try to find out. So, in the interest of keeping that fair across everyone, that's how I'm gonna do this. So, she just kind of holds it out to kind of everyone at once for whoever's the first one to take it. She's like, I don't think we're going to be able to get tons and tons of information out of this, so just keep that in mind. Kind of what you get might just be what you get. There's not a whole lot I'm able to do about that.
Gavin looks to Mara first.
Mara will take that cue to take the notebook and write it down, what she wants, although Zerzan already knows that.
Zerzan, for your get your money. She's really good at covering it up.
Zerzan looks at what she wrote. I'm not giving you my information, Mara.
Looks down at note. We need my car's extended warranty.
Shut up. Zerzan will take the notebook back and then walk over to the guard and sort of present it to him, and she'll just be like, we have things we're trying to not let other people here know about ourselves. So this is how we're gonna have to do it. Here's what she wrote down. Here's what she's looking for, and she's gonna point back to Mara.
All right, now since you are indeed serving as intermediary, if either you guys can type whatever your requests are to Zers, and then Zers will send to me, or just DM me directly whatever the individual request is, and I'll treat it as if it came from Zers. Just this way, I can not only keep it fresh in my mind what each request is, but we can kind of do it in a more slightly orderly fashion.
I'm gonna ask you a question real quick, because this was what Lisa would want to know. That's been well.
All right, and then Mara was the first one to give the request, right?
Yes.
Okay, splendid. Then the operator opens the note to look at it, nods and closes it, turns to the console, and there is a echoing, soft tapping of keys, and so smoothly it's hard to notice, the elevator begins to rise. It rises to a certain level. He steps away from the console, walks over to one of the receptacles, presses a button. A little disc pops out. Think like PlayStation 1 jewel case type look. And he walks over and hands it to Mara. Instructions are very simple. Simply open it like a book. There are 2 buttons at the 2 bottom corners on the left and right. These will flip the page. go ahead and read. And then he will step back after you've taken it.
She just nods and moves over to a corner of the elevator and yeah.
Alrighty. Then I will type you out. The rest of you may continue to talk while this is happening. So yeah, I will get to typing away.
And then nobody talked.
Typing a lot.
I was waiting for Lana to get back to me on the question. Who's still on the elevator? Is it like yours and Mara out, or
All of us are on the elevator.
Yeah, the
Oh.
entire floor which exists in this is the elevator.
Yeah, it's a big ass elevator.
Yeah, like imagine a like a 70-foot by 70-foot elevator.
Lisa is going to look over to Hope, sort of like raise a small eyebrow, and then asks, "What do you want to know?"
He kind of looks up, sort of blinks. Says, I mean, I guess. Well, there's a kind of flower I'd really like to grow. I'd maybe like to learn where I could find it. Sort of
A wonderful
poking his
choice.
fingertips together.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Lana.
What?
Lana.
Yeah, I had to finish typing. I can't talk and type at the same time.
Not with that attitude. Sorry.
Okay. So, what had Lisa said to Hope there?
No, I asked you a question in DM because the thing that Lisa would want to know.
Okay. I just wanted to check in on what you were doing with Hope, just to make sure I wasn't missing anything specifically there.
Lisa is like drop kicking him off the edge of the elevator. Crush.
Oh, dang. Okay. Okay. So, here, hold on.
Are we asking for like one piece of information per person, or
Yeah.
okay?
Hold on, I have to search my notes for the answer to your question. Cog. Okay, nope, it's not in that notes file. It's in that one. Nope, not in that one. Is it in this one? Okay. Oh, damn, I must have bumped the wrong key in my notes file again.
How dare you?
Okay, here we go. Okay, so then what would the actual question Lisa ask be?
Information regarding O's, or however you would pronounce that name.
That is indeed how you pronounce it. So that note is handed to the guard after Mara has finished reading, which I will say, Mara, a quality of these books is that they are oddly quick to read. Like, it takes you about 5 minutes to read the entire little thing.
Mm.
And then as you pass it back, the guard, raises an eyebrow at your request, types it in anyways, and the elevator does not move. He raises the other eyebrow at that, types it in again. He kind of looks over his shoulder to Zerzan, is like, could you ask your friend for more information about this? I can't find anything just going by the request made.
Sure. She shuffles her way over to Lisa and kind of pull her aside a little. And she's just like, okay, so he input the request, and nothing happened. So could you perhaps be a little more specific with it?
So blank, a little confused with that. What do you mean by more specific? Is there just too many people staring the name, or?
I mean, all I have to go off of is he typed it in and we didn't go anywhere. And it seems like he's just as confused about that as everyone else is. So if you, I don't know, maybe there are other people with that name. Maybe you should be a little more specific about the person you mean, or maybe be a little more specific about what piece of information exactly you are trying to acquire.
The rights necessary to get into contact with the being known as Oz, the aspect of choice.
Understood. Thank you. She will go relay that to the guard.
Yep, and that actually does cause the elevator to move, this time down. It moves actually past the original entryway, which you see now is slightly recessed into the wall, and is one of the only parts of the wall that is not entirely flush. And you pass down for a good 2 minutes till you actually arrive at a section where he goes and retrieves a similar little case book and holds that out to Lisa.
I can't fucking read. I'm kidding. Lisa will take it.
I'm fucking illiterate.
What up? My name's Lisa. I'm 19. I never fucking learned how to read.
And I don't mean to like derail or anything, but fun fact, I don't know if this is the case in 5e, but in 3.5, barbarians are default illiterate. Like, if you want to be considered literate as a barbarian, you have to like spend skill points to do that.
In 5e, the base assumption is everyone is literate.
Yeah,
Which is silly.
but whatever. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. I just had to throw that little anecdote out there for those who are not familiar with the ancient ways of 3.5.
And then yeah, Lisa will nod, say thank you, and begin paging through it. Well, the pages are blank. What the fuck?
There's just one page of the drawing of a middle finger.
There's no secret ingredient.
Well, looks like it's Gavin's turn.
The stuff that I wrote down, I wrote down multiple options. Just go down. If we're only supposed to do one thing, period, just take the top one.
Okie dokie. So the top one. Okay. So after Lisa is finished, and the casebook is returned, I will go and type in your request, and I'll kind of look over his shoulder. Looks like we'll have to go down quite a few levels for that. You may desire to sit. As he types it in. And then, yeah, the elevator begins to move, and it continues moving down.
Is each person reading their things while this is all happening? Is only one thing allowed to be brought out at a time?
Yeah, each. So Mara read her thing and then returned it when done. Lisa read her thing, then returned it when done. And it's been doing that between each motion. Hope kind of walks over to you at this and just kind of looks you over, like quirks his head as if to wordlessly ask how you doing.
Gavin looks at him, looks back at him, and mirrors his head motion, playing along, as if saying, "I don't know. How are you doing?"
Hope smiles real big. It says, "I'm thinking of cheese. I'm pretty happy."
Kind of cheese.
He like starts to like open his eyes as if to answer, and like increasingly scrunches his face, and then makes eye contact and says, "There's more than two?"
Oh, well, what two do you know of?
The yellow one that's kind of salty, and the yellow one that's not very salty. Well, both are yummy.
They are, but I'll have to teach you more about different varieties of cheese. Our guide is in here with us, right? I forget his name because I'm dumb.
Nerman?
Yes.
You did not actually see him enter, though you have Zerzan, who could quite reasonably infer any answer he may give, you could assume.
Fair enough. Zerzan, how many... What is the nature of gnomish? I don't think I know of any gnomish.
You are cutting out at the last word of those sentences.
Cheeses.
Jesus.
Give me a moment. Okay.
Um,
Oh, now who died?
I think
Oh, it was
Koga's
Koga.
sword crashed.
Rip.
Koga exploded. DM, we're going to research cheese.
Take me to the cheese dimension.
The plane of infinite cheese. Mhm.
Oh, technical difficulties.
Rip.
Yeah, Gavin's asking about cheese, Zerzan.
Oh, yeah, I just didn't know we were waiting for Koga to return for that.
Mm.
Hi.
There he is.
For like the last 2 minutes, all audio from Discord cut out, like, and it just froze up completely, and then it crashed, and I had to restart it.
Mm.
Fun.
The conversation is about cheese.
Awesome.
Um. Uh. Mr. GM man, is this a question that has a definitive answer? Or
You're welcome to just kind of make some of this up. This is not.
I kind of assumed. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, I'm not Yoko Taro. I don't have that kind of answer already thought out.
I didn't think so. She kind of looks a little confused at the request. And she's like, well, the gnomes like to keep goats primarily because, gnomes are small and goats are smaller, and it's a lot easier for small people to take care of small animals rather than, big cows. So goats and sheep primarily. So goat cheese. There's a lot of goat cheese here, typically. Some artisan cheese makers will put all sorts of different, things like flavorings and spices, stuff like that in them. You can get some that are a little sweet. You can get some that are a little bit, if you like some spice to them, or you can get just plain goat cheese. It's not the same. It's not like firm, like cow's milk cheese would be. It's pretty soft, very spreadable, very good on crackers.
I'm familiar with goat cheese. Just I'm interested to. I can speak English. Don't worry about me. I'm interested to see what varieties of cheeses we may encounter here.
I mean, it's possible to get other kinds if they, import some stuff from outside, but whatever's made here typically
Is typically. I think you cut out.
Did I?
Last thing I heard was typically.
Oh, typically, man, my brain just got fried. She basically just said that other kinds of cheeses are imported sometimes, but typically whatever is made here is either goat or sheep's milk cheese.
Well, we'd be very interested to try some variety. Do you know of any local places?
It's kind of weird to define what is local when we're kind of in one, big city, for the most part. I mean, there's probably places just about everywhere. I imagine some general stores or might be some farmers markets would almost certainly sell some, and those would be dotted all over the place.
Then I'll ask this: what places are you familiar with?
I don't know if they're still operating. I imagine so, but there was. I remember near Nerman's workshop, which is where I spent the majority of my life in here. About a 20-minute walk away, there is this little sort of cafe diner place run by the sweetest little. And she would sell all sorts of baked goods, and a lot of it would, cheese, obvious reasons. So if you want some just good food, we can see if she's still there. But she would almost certainly have some cheese.
Let's good cheese and an opportunity for you to show us some of your life.
We'll see if we have the time.
as you do say that, the elevator does, a couple of minutes later, slow to a stop, and the guard that's been serving as the attendant as well, he steps away from the console, grabs one of the case books, takes it, and holds it out to you, Gavin.
Gavin takes it gingerly, and thank you. And he will begin reading, and note-taking is allowed, right? They allowed pens and paper, right?
Yeah. Normal pens, normal paper.
Well, yeah. He'll do some note-taking. And yeah, just send me whatever you're gonna send me on this.
Yeah, it'll be kind of what I gave everybody else, which is a summary, which later on can be expanded with question asking. Is going to kind of be the idea.
Mm.
Mara, Gavin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on a related note, if we're having this in-depth conversation of the culinary practices of gnomes, well, you tieflings, especially you, Gavin, considering how old you are.
Yeah, he kind of he's still very deep into the book, but he'll answer. If you're gonna ask me about the culinary practices of tieflings, I'm afraid you're out of luck. I was raised among the elves for the most part. I don't know much of my old home, the place of my birth. What I do know of it, it's not majority tiefling. It's not really majority anything. Except maybe majority arms munitions. And bodies. Best not to think about that place.
Please listen to me strong and focus on Mara.
I similarly, I grew up in a pretty mixed-race village, so nothing I ate was really tiefling specific.
Hi, Mickey.
Hi, Nikki.
She wanted to make her own comment on the conversation known.
Mickey is explaining the in-depth culinary practices with Baxby.
Well, someone has to. They're all gone.
Did somebody say scuba?
Okay. And as with Mara, like, you notice by the time you reach the end of the book, like, not as much time as you would have assumed would have passed. And then handing it back to the attendant, he goes and puts it away. And then finally, he he goes to Hope, who he just kind of chuckles and says, I think what that one is looking for is probably just going to be in the regular library. And then he shakes his head and smiles, and then looks finally to users.
Right.
How to kill a god.
My Kratos arc starts now. She will approach and hand him a slip of paper with one word scrolled across it. I've sent it to you.
Okay.
Pain.
He turns and he he opens it, reads it, nods, turns and types it in, furrows his brow. He kind of gestures at it so that you can read it, Zerzan.
Takes a look. Console explodes.
Why does it say nuclear launch imminent?
It's like those things where people will respond to an AI chatbot with like a block of code that like just shuts it down.
It reads minor spelling mistake.
I just made you install a virus. Have you ever heard of Bonzi, buddy?
You just look over and it's just fucking Dennis Nedry. You didn't say the magic word.
God.
You have to add please at the end.
Yeah, he kind of looks to the rest of the group and says, well, I don't think we can really retrieve anything else for you today, so if you're all ready, we ought to head back up and get you back out of the archives.
Do we really have a choice? This seems to be all that we can get.
I mean, you are welcome to talk amongst yourselves for at least a little bit longer. He looks over at, what we would know as an actual watch, and says, "Yeah, you still have a few minutes of freedom here."
Zizan, we are permitted to come back again and research more in the next few days, yes?
Ideally, yes, but with the way things go around here, I can't say for certain. All I really got a solid confirmation for was one visit to these archives, and I can only guess at whether or not they would be willing to let us in here again.
Hmm. Well, I guess the answer will present itself to us tomorrow, next time, one of those.
In that case, and if we're permitted, I suppose the question is, where is the main library?
Oh, that's actually part of the Debates and Sciences Hall here. Really, the entire pathway walking through it is a lot of the library. The books and everything are artistically designed to fit into the learning and debate halls, walls and archways. Something about making learning as beautiful as it feels. I don't particularly think the same way the architects here do, but I don't think others really think much like architects. If I'm entirely honest, I think architects are a little on the pretentious side.
And then you've
She will
never met
simply
an
bite her tongue.
archaeologist.
And what did Lisa say there?
She will simply bite her tongue.
Lisa's actually an architect.
Actually,
See the fucking war engineer. See what's responsible.
Well, always remember, engineering and architecture are not the same thing.
Sounds like something engineers say.
If anything, they do frequently clash. If the phrase "an architect's dream is an engineer's nightmare" is anything to go by.
Oh yeah, it's a whole subcategory of memes.
Huh. Get wrecked, bitches. Here comes physics to fuck your day.
Now, I'll ask, would you all be okay with a short little time skip to the actual night?
Sure.
Oh, we don't get to experience the cheese? That's fine.
You don't get to go to the library? Wow. You're
Not
cutting
very-
off her knowledge?
I don't mind. I'm okay with it.
Alright, cool. Okay.
So we have all our
I
shit
have-
back, right?
Yes. You'd have been given everything back upon, leaving the vault once it was fully closed and everything.
The reason for the time skip is how long it took Mara, Gavin, and Lisa to re-accept everything.
Gavin's been barefoot the whole time in the archive. That's the funniest part to me.
I will say the first thing the party, if they're paying attention at all, it is very visible, very obvious that the first thing Lisa puts on is the belt before taking the rest of her equipment.
Among the many things that Gavin has, he takes particular care with the ocarina whistle.
Okay. So particularly, I do have something for Lisa and Koga. This is based off of what you and I talked about relatively recently. Provided I was about to say, provided you remember all that, and then I went, no, that's a dumb question. Of course Koga remembers. And then Zers, I will type out what I have in mind for you.
Hey.
Fuck is... Oh, well, I can't hear shit. Oh, gosh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Well, I wouldn't imagine you want to hear shit at the moment.
Oh, I ain't gonna stomp on it. Uh-oh. That could have been bad.
Goodness.
Hi. Hi.
I sure
Back.
love wind on microphone.
Why don't you win yourself some nat 20s in combat?
Good attempt.
Yeah.
All right. Oh dear, maybe Koga doesn't remember what I was talking about.
I know I do. I just want you to clarify what you mean by that.
Well, like,
Clackety, clackety, clack.
As the party strides to, where are they heading exactly? Like, where would they be for the night?
Norman would have basically offered kind of his personal space to lodge the party for the night. So you'd be following Zerzan kind of back to his home for that.
Are they allowed to check out books from the library, or do they have to read them at said library?
You could check. Zerzan could check them out, and basically, as long as she keeps an eye on them, you're good to leave the library with them.
I imagine Lisa has probably bugged Zerzan to ask her to check out two particular books. One revolving around werewolves, and the other revolving around how to take care of a child, like how to parent for dummies.
She's like got the book held upside down as she's reading it.
A book for child care, a book for dog care. The librarian's like, "Oh wow, two little ones. You must have a lot. You must have a lot going on." It's like, two?
Oh,
Two? Huh? Goes to the fucking like pet shop, buys like a collar and lace. After she has a pet, she goes, "Pet?" Yeah, I imagine Lisa sort of like at Norman's place with the books, sort of like slowly flipping through them. And about like a quarter of the way through the book, she will suddenly perk up, tilt her head back to gaze sidewards, tilt her head ever so slightly, and just stare for a moment, as if listening very, very, very intently. After a second, her eyes close. She nods along, closes the book, stands up, gathers her things, and she marches out of the house with a purpose.
Okay. Perfect. Honestly, if you're happy with that, I'm happy with leaving that at that mysteriousness. I'll take that as a yes.
I'm fine with it, yeah. Otherwise, I
Cool.
would have added more.
Okay. So then, Zers,
Yes.
uh, you receive a message on your little device, and it reads that the meeting is ready. They will wait for whenever you have the time, though they expect that you will arrive soon.
Um, she will regard the rest of the party. And this, she would also make sure Lisa would get, because I'm assuming, she just ran out. She would make sure Lisa gets this because of sending stones. But to sort of everyone, she will speak. And she'll kind of try to keep it relatively quiet and secretive. And she'll say, "All right, guys, listen. I have a meeting with the council. Um, I would welcome some company. If you guys would like to come along. But I need you guys to be sure that you've gathered the information you need. I won't go until you guys are ready to follow."
You will get a sending stone mission right back, and it is very clear, very sort of brief, and it is simply can't yet. Doing research.
Like I said, I'll wait. I'm not on a super tight time constraint, so just do what you gotta do. But as soon as everyone is ready,
You'll get one message from Gavin. I would like to at least see if tomorrow, access would be permitted again to the archive. I have a couple more things I need to look at. Though, if permission is not given, then I have what I need for the moment. At least
nod.
regarding the situation with the time disturbance.
Fair. Hold on for just one moment. DM, Nerman would still be in this area, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. She will go to find Nerman wherever he's at.
He's there,
I
like,
love that name.
he's kind of like peering at a gemstone. He's got like this pair of goggles that's extending like almost a foot out from his face for magnification. He's like peering at this gemstone, and as he hears you approaching, he's like, "You know, Zerzan, you always seem to find me at a moment when I can't put down what I'm doing until I finish something highly obscure. Grab for me the inscription tool size 42Z."
He nods and acquires such a tool.
Yeah,
Sorry,
just
Lisa
kind
ate
A
it.
lot of tools.
of waves his hand around, kind of like accidentally smacks your ear, adjusts where his hand is, takes the tool out of your hand, and then kind of gives it a couple little taps. Perfect! And then, you know, abruptly sets down the tool and the gemstone and plucks the goggles, yeets them off into a corner, and they land on a hook, swirl around, and then swing till they come to a resting point. Claps his hands together and turns to you. Now, Thurston, what can I do for you?
First thing he would notice is an expression that has a little less joy in it there otherwise normally is on his face. He's like, "Hey, I gotta run a couple of things past you here real fast. First of all, I know the answer is probably not the one I want to hear. But what do you think the odds of us getting access to the archives again is?"
He kind of
There's
bites his lip and hisses in a breath.
brutally honest. Just be outright with it.
Oh, I would expect not. That's a lot of new outsiders and gnomish culture as a whole. If you carry the two, then not really.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'd assumed. Second thing I wanted to run past you. I may or may not have another meeting with the council. And Norman, you are the closest thing to, I think, real family I've ever had. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if anything good can come out of this meeting. But if you can spare the time, I want you to be there. This is really important to me.
He kind of sits himself up and he nods, like, kind of blinks and seems to adjust his vision a bit. And pats the armrest of his chair. Goes, ah, tablet. Do you see where I put my tablet? You always seem to know where I leave it. Is it in one of my pockets? He starts kind of fumbling through his pockets. And you can kind of tell that it's underneath where he just tossed the goggles.
She will just kind of casually walk over and grab it.
Perfect. Yes. See, oh, you always know it. Takes it, rather curtly from your hands, and then just starts going swipe. There, everything this evening cancelled, postponed. I'll deal with it later.
Damn.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. He seems to really focus in. First, let me apologize. You have been like a daughter to me. I have been thinking about this ever since you originally left, and that I never expressed true or direct care or love for you, even as you have been as a daughter. I have watched you grow. I watched you the first time you singed your fingers, learning how to cast little fire spells and burn fingerprints off. I've watched you understand how to disassemble things, watched you find math the first time where you could truly quantify something. Expressions of emotional things. It's too complicated. There's no real formula for. You are my daughter, and I would like to say I'm very proud of you. You appear to be coming quite a long way. You're making your way, your dent in the world, and it seems. Oh, well, you've an appropriate pack of certifiable weirdos, but I do think they're just the right sort. They'll find you what you need.
I'm sure they will. I really can't possibly express my thanks enough to you. I know that I've done practically nothing but cause you headaches for the past, decade and a half.
Burning my thesis for my anniversary presentation. Because you tried to bake me that cake.
Can you rewrite a thesis? There's
You
more paper
rewrite a
around.
cake.
Oh, it's going to be awkward here. I have to. He stands up from the chair and indeed gives you a hug and wraps around and squeezes and. It's like he does not seem as sure of this hug, since it is much more of an in earnest, open emotion type hug. He's he like gives you the awkward like pat.
Yeah. Awkward hug is returned. And after a moment of silence, she's going to speak up again. And at this point, her face is like completely flat. And she just kind of just sets her eyes right on his. It's going to be Nerman, not going to sugar. I might not be allowed back. I have some things that I need to say. And I'm sure they're things that's going to make a lot of people very angry. And I want to get this out of the way now, should it come to it, which I certainly hope it doesn't. If I might not ever see you again once we're done. And I just have to tell you that I appreciate you and everything you've ever done for me. I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for you and your guidance, your love and your care. I'm not good with the emotional stuff either. But yeah, I'm sure you'll see why this is such a big deal to me. And in the spirit of maybe never seeing again, I have one more little favor to ask. Just a small one.
He raises an eyebrow and kind of gives you that, well, what is it now? Kind of look, with a caring smile.
This might be the last opportunity I work with a workshop that is as high as the ones found here, and I have some ideas I gotta make. One of my friends is out doing something right now, so I have some time to kill to put some things together. Can I do that real fast? I'll clean up. I always do.
The workshop is your oyster.
Thank you very much.
You know, it's funny. That phrase has existed in our people. And you know what? We adopted it from when we saved the entirety of known mortal civilization. I've never actually seen an oyster. Why do we even use that phrase?
You know, I wondered the same thing.
Have you seen an oyster?
Yes.
Do they taste good?
No. Some people certainly think so.
Oh, I'll have to think about that. He plops himself back into his chair, puts his hand on his head, and just kind of like you see his vision like stare at the wall, go through the wall, and just his vision is now continuing on into infinity.
1,000-yard stare of oysters.
All right, so Zurzan will send a stone to Lisa, and she basically just says, "Hey, I got something I'm working on that might take some time, so take your time with whatever you're doing."
She replies almost snappily, like it's almost like a distracted, very blunt, I planned on it.
Very well.
Okay, heck yeah. Ah, I see. I kind of wondered if maybe that was what you were actually going for there.
At some point during the night, you'll get a message from Gavin. Oh, forgot to say. Well, whenever you're ready, send the word. I'll be there.
Will do. And I also wanted to let you know specifically, ask, I ran the prospect by Nerman. I don't think another trip to the archives is.
I suspected as much. Still, good to have that. At the very least.
Yeah, stranger things have definitely happened, so I figured I'd ask, but yeah, I wouldn't bet money on that whatsoever. That's all I have for now. Pass the mic off to whoever else has things to do.
Mara, go.
What intellectually
Go where?
stimulating conversation?
You emotions and stuff.
Turns to camera to Mara. Witness brooding.
She's just gnawing on a fucking cord to one of the computers.
Tasty. Crunchy munchy.
Her rats are helping her out.
What is Mara? Part shark? Mara smell the flavor of the internet and want to bite?
Offer.
Waiter, more fiber optic cable.
Okay, so yeah, I think unless like someone drags her into doing things, I imagine she's probably just, thinking on what she read about, going about the rest of her day and just, yeah, nothing too special.
Dylan. Vibing, one might say.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you had stepped away as I think you had stepped away as Zerzan was mentioning it. She has a council meeting, and she basically said, "Hey, when all done with whatever it is you're doing, I want you all to this meeting with me."
Okay. Yeah, she'd totally do that.
And, yeah,
Just
Lisa
letting
has
Just letting you know
bolted
right
out.
now. I'm just letting you know right now, Squibble.
Yeah.
You have been cutting out a lot, though it's only been like individual here or there. It is a lot, at least on my end.
I'll close down Discord and reopen it here. So give me just a moment.
You do that too. Bah.
All right, he's gone. So here's my 12-step program of how we can kill Gavin.
Hey, I'm here, fool.
Here's my step program of how we can kill Jerson by replacing every mention of Gavin in the previous plot points with her name.
Uh-huh. Monster Hunter side eye.
Cool, I'm not a monster, dummy. I'm human.
More often than not, humans are the monsters.
Oh, so they're people.
Here we go.
Well, then what was the Dwarven King?
Alright.
A rat
Here's
for
back.
some point of it.
I think Zers is back anyway.
I am. I opened up Task Manager and executed Discord for a second there.
Splendid.
Full reset of the program. All right. Anyway, I'm back. Hello.
Cool.
I'm back. I'm Jamie.
Hi, Jamie. I have a gun.
So do I.
Yes, Peter, I'm you, and you're me, and this is a gun.
Wait, it was all Ohio all along? Always was.
Okay. I will say, is there anything else that anyone would like to do before we go to this council meeting?
Like to steal the Declaration of Independence?
Oh.
I like to find who within this kingdom is called Nomeo.
What? Shut your damn mouth. I'm gonna throw cinder blocks in your windows.
Congratulations. Lisa's executed, make a new character.
Oh man.
I would like to research.
Worth it.
I would like to research the answer to where, in fact, is Carmen Sandiego.
All right. Any proper requests? Or are you guys basically good for now?
I think we're good.
Oh, okay. I guess we are.
I mean, if you have something, you can go. I was just...
Yeah. What are you gonna do, huh? What am I gonna do, Sarah? If that's keeping your real name.
No, Koga. It's
fucking-
yours.
What?
Moving on.
All right.
Swiftly along.
I think at some point in the night, Mara is going to get mentally beamed. Hey, come here. Very.
Very well. And, I guess Mara will go search for Lisa's location.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like...
Whoa, Mara's gonna dock Lisa? What the fuck?
Mara, like, gets up from the cot that she's sleeping on, walks, like, I don't know, 30 feet across the room, looks down at Lisa, also on a cot, because you're all kind of just bunked into one room in Nerman's house.
No, Lisa will still be at the library. She is a woman on mission.
Oh, heck.
Yeah.
Lisa's,
The
nice.
library.
Okay. All right, well then, yeah, like... So then, yeah, I guess you will go over to the library then.
When you find Lisa, she seems to have more or less taken a table up by herself. There is a bunch of books, and I do mean a bunch of books laying on the table before her, and she seems to be going through them almost one by one, checking the index, flipping through the pages, closing them. They don't seem of any use in doing that one after the other. She looks back at you, nods, waves you over, and it is very clearly that she is like visibly like bent over the book and bent over the table as she like looks through them all. Like she is searching intently.
And Zerzan is behind now.
Right behind you!
But yeah, Mara walks over.
She pulls out the 2-9.
Oh, go ahead.
I was joking. She pulls out the 2-9. TF2.
Joke's on you, dumbass. I got a dead ringer.
Okay.
Moving on.
All right. So yeah, Mara walks over to Lisa. She just goes, "This better be important."
When you actually walk up to her, she immediately stands up straight, and there seems to be this really odd. You don't feel any sort of breeze or wind, but Lisa's hair is rustling as if there is like a gale within this library. Like it's like affecting her clothes, affecting her hair. Like it seems like some light dust that doesn't exist is affecting her. As she immediately goes, one of Didion's out.
You cut
Say
out
again?
real bad.
One last thing here.
One of Gideon's.
Foremost allies.
Yes.
And she going to push some of the books your way. I've been given a divine mandate, divine mission to accomplish something on his behalf. I would like your assistance for this.
I feel like I'm going to regret this. What is it?
To assassinate his creator.
Sorry?
Oh,
Oh, you cut out.
Given a divine mission to kill the woman responsible.
whoa.
Oh, there's your mic doing
You're-
that again.
And
Oh,
on the
boy.
process of homunculi alchemy.
Oh,
Oh,
oh my
jeez.
gosh!
Oh. Oh, Lord.
To describe Koga,
Oh,
what we are
brother.
experiencing is it is as if your microphone is picking up your voice at normal speed and then randomly enters fast forward mode where it just sounds like you're going
Yeah.
for about a split second.
This is a pretty accurate recreation.
Yeah,
Doing that fast.
I'm gonna need you to repeat
I'm not doing that fast,
everything
or-
you just said.
Okay, let me get my Discord fucking working because it's acting up right now. Hold on.
Welcome to D&D Online. Technical problems expansion pass.
Oh, don't worry. This would also happen in a real in an open table real world session.
Oh yeah,
Randomly
prove
gets
it.
out.
It's not Discord doing this. Your voice is just like that.
Frozen
Prove
automaton.
it. Come to Ohio.
All right. Actually, if we wanted to call this bio break time, this might be appropriate
Are you
to take
kidding me?
a
I did
short
not-
10 minutes.
okay.
Alright.
All right. Well, now.
Righty.
There once was a man from Peru who dreamt that he was eating his shoe.
I'll be right back, fellas.
We'll
He awoke
be
in the
right
night
back in about
with a
10,
terrible
15
fright.
minutes. See you then. Ooh. And we return. Hello.
Move.
Yo,
Splendid.
Splendiferous.
Inconceivable.
Okay, so Koga, you were as
Me.
Lisa, describing the divine mission of kill that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mara, at least
start from the beginning of your sentence.
that was my plan. Lisa will close her eyes and sort of nod. I have been given a divine mandate from Gideon to kill his creator. And as you are his greatest ally, at least on this material plane, I would like you to assist me with this.
His creator, you mean Lyrisha?
No. Yes! Help me kill God!
Hmm.
Then
Hellsire Casamathal. The alchemist responsible.
but why?
From my understanding, the moment he broke his oath and said the protection of Lyresta, it was made very clear to him that she was actively searching for him and plotted to end his life. She might be a threat in the future, and even if she's not, she's willing to kill any being who got free. I can't imagine letting her live myself. Maybe not hunting her down specifically, but having the knowledge of what she might throw at us.
I can maybe help you find her, but the actual job itself will still be your duty.
Of course.
I'm not good.
I'm surprised she didn't think to ask Gavin.
Diddy told me to ask you, the guy who stabbed him through with a sword. He's real specific about that.
Hey, Gavin said he forgave him later. Whatever. Go on.
Lisa just picking Mara because, to her knowledge, that is who Gideon was closest to.
Yeah.
So, I'm pouring through these books, pouring through these tomes for any information in regards to the likes of alchemy, homunculi, artificial creations, and what have you. And see if any of them might possess her name or the names of her colleagues.
Fine. All right.
Thank you. And with Mara's help this time, Lisa will continue pouring through tome after tome, trying to absorb any information she can about what might she have to possibly face if she ever has to go against a alchemist such as her. And any, of course, books that might offer information on her herself. The voices in my head telling me to assassinate my political enemies.
All right, if we see anybody turning into a dinosaur, we run. All right.
What?
Fucking JoJo reference.
Oh, it says here he has created 7 homunculi, all named after his various sins. How odd!
Okay. Anyways, hmm. So yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So, Mister. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, just we're doing this big study.
Big think.
Big funk.
Yeah, this is big brain time.
I don't understand. I looked through all these tomes, and the only thing I learned is how to make alchemist fire. Just like Mars, like learning how to make bombs and shit.
The only thing I learned in all my hundreds of years of study are what I do for a Klondike bar.
Have you heard of Philosopher's Stones, Dad?
All right, Mr. DM man. Before we get any more sidetracked, what do we find?
To put it simply, you will find that there isn't any specific information on this woman here in these archives. You can find some general knowledge on the study of creation of homunculi. You can find some knowledge on like some of alchemy, simple things such as that, though it's really pretty apparent that whomever she isn't this universally known figure.
So not even a passing
Information.
mention. You're in. Sorry.
Yeah, like the books that you guys found actually, I think that maybe Gideon found originally had more mention of her. Whatever tomes are possessed of here in the Gnomish library, like maybe even were collected before she had made her study widely understood.
So Lisa, do you know any any more specifics on this woman? Like any specific fields of alchemy she went into, or?
She's going to close her eyes and hit up the big G Gideon, and more or less asked him for information. He's going to beam it back down. What does Gideon do? Because I'm also sort of mind empty.
Pretty sure he's a small G, just saying.
Your boy Gideon would kind of tell you what I told you. It's like the books that I found had more actual information. Probably better if you just look for those.
Let's see. Okay, so I looked it up, and the information I remember from what we discussed, Lisa will go Golomancy seems to be her main thing. Artificial life forms, artificial beings, functional intelligence, and autonomy.
Okay. And then Mara will sort of start like flipping through, looking for any mentions of Golomancy, and specifically she's looking to see if there are any like specific like ingredients that would be required that wouldn't just be found anywhere.
Indeed, you would discover something along those lines. What you would discover is that a key component in the creation of golems is a mineral, which I'll actually do the rare case of using the notes thing. Where did I put it? There we go. My channel collapsed there.
What are you made of, Gideon? Minerals, son.
Gideon looking on as he learns he's made like fucking mud. Oh man.
Now, information on where to find it isn't specifically given, though there's some implications that it may be in climates shared by ocean creatures or even dug up from the seabed.
Okay. So that means if she does a lot of stuff with golems, she probably needs to have a lot of this mineral, and if it's spawning in and around the water, then most likely she probably lives on one of the coasts. Now it's still a lot of space, but if it's at least narrowed it down somewhat.
Right, and he's likely on the Elvis continent. Well, where did you find him exactly?
Hey DM, did you ever come up with a name for the continent this all started on?
Nope.
Damn. Okay.
Place.
Place.
Got a lot of stuff figured out, but not that.
Yeah, so
I'll be real with you guys.
yeah, she tells them, yeah, it's the same continent that her village and the Adventurers Guild is on.
Then he's likely at least there if he hasn't moved during that time. And if he had an entire lab set up capable of producing homunculi golems, what have you, he likely hasn't.
You now fight an army of Gideons.
1,000 Gideons! Kill this man!
They're all just as dumb as the original. And all of them have batteries.
Every party member is like super eager, but Zerzan is like diddy about it. Like she's like super like hell yeah.
It's like,
Okay,
oh, no,
I would like to ask everybody to rein in, because we are at the last hour, and I want to make time for Zerzan to actually have the meeting.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so, I am willing to, of course, give more information later, but I will ask if you guys are okay to set down this specific pursuit in exchange for making sure there's time for the meeting.
Absolutely.
Alright.
Alright, yeah.
Cool. Then, Zerzan, we will pass the baton to you. You are, of course, leading into the room where you've been basically told to meet with the council members. So, as you enter, and you bring the rest of the party with you, what you first notice is that the entirety of the council isn't actually here. It is just the Silent Knight. He seems to tilt his head at seeing the remainder of the party with you. He doesn't appear to have been expecting that. But nods all the same, and simply extends a hand for you to sit. There's only the one chair there, but he does still at least offer it.
He looks really confused for a minute, and she's going to be like, "Where's everyone else?"
He reaches up and you feel the sending spell, and you feel in your mind, I was under the impression this would be a one-on-one meeting, and I had matters which would be easier to discuss with you personally. And another message. Though, if it is your request, your friends be privy, then I will agree to it.
Sorry, I forgot to mention I wanted to bring him along. Don't get me wrong, I don't intend to sound ungrateful, but I thought I had asked for a meeting with the rest of the council as well.
Given the nature of what you searched for in the archives, the matter does not actually concern the remainder of the council. If I am correct in guessing what you mean to ask about.
You're probably on a similar track.
Now, before I do continue, I do indeed ask you at least confirm that your friends will be here before I speak out loud.
Yes, whatever happens, happens. It's going to be important, and I want them all to be here for it. But I don't plan on staying in this council chamber for very long.
Then, very well. And he will reach up and remove his helmet. And you see that he looks quite significantly older than any other gnome you've put your eyes on. He has scars, he's missing an eye. Part of his jaw seems to be supported by metallic structuring. He adjusts his jaw a little, takes in a deep breath. So, what do you ask then?
If you wouldn't mind, sir, I would request that we take this meeting somewhere else. There is, I'm sure you'll be able to know what I mean when I say that I wish to take this to the door It's been a while, and it's something that's always intrigued me, and it's something I wanted to pick your mind about.
And I am correct in what you want to ask. He stands and puts the helmet back on and walks to the door, opens it, and simply makes a motion for you to follow.
And so she will, and she will kind of wave everyone else to follow along. She will send a message to the rest of the party here with the setting stone, and basically just say, let me do all the talking. All right? Just don't say anything until, I kind of let you guys.
Of course.
Very well.
See? Why did I just say this? Yeah, so we follow along.
And as he leads, there are guards who, at first they look up, but they quickly turn away. He continues to lead, gets into one of the high-speed vehicles, and the way that he pilots this is with a certain degree of purpose. As he drives, he says nothing, and you're driven through what can certainly be understood to be a security gate of some kind. Like, more of those scanners start and move, and something seems to permit him to bypass them. You're taken through rooms that even users and haven't specifically seen. You've looked into the reactor cores, but this is the first time you've actually been through the same rooms, and you are being taken into the center. He parks his vehicle by a vault door, not unlike that out of the archives. He holds up a badge to the guards there, and they let you through, and none of the guards actually follow past this point. When the airlock cycling completes and the other door opens, what is immediately recognizable as an aurorum door is visible. He approaches it and turns to face you. Here it is. In all its strangeness.
She takes a few steps forwards towards it and looks at it. She looks it up and down. And she nods to herself a little, and she's like, I've come by this door a couple times when I first came here, and this thing has always captivated me. So different from everything else. It doesn't look like anything else that I've ever seen before. And my whole life, when I thought about the gnomes, my family, and I thought about how absurdly great we were, well, the gnomes are, this is the first thing that would pop into my mind. What a fantastic invention that we've made. But I've always wondered about, and she takes a couple steps towards it, and she puts her hand up near the square-shaped hole in the door. She's like, this has always confused me. Because I always thought that something was supposed to be here. And I never really got an explanation for it. And she takes a deep breath. And she goes, but one way or another. And she pulls out from her pouch one of the batteries. She goes, I'm going to find out what happens when this goes in that slot. Whether fantastic or catastrophic. You will be the one who determines whether or not I learn through teaching or experimentation. There's a lot that needs to be answered for.
Ask, then. I did know this day would eventually come. So, please, ask.
Oh dear. I was under the impression, I was told that the technology used to make this gate here was the gnome's greatest invention. I've seen things out there more fantastical than I think anyone here could even dream of. Stuff that looks exactly like this door. Stuff that I know the gnomes didn't make. I've been lied to my whole life, and countless gnomes have been as well. And I'm getting answers. Why?
You mean, why did we claim this was ours?
Yes.
It's a simpler explanation. For the simpler fact that we don't know who made this. Outside of the name you typed into that console, we don't have any idea who constructed this door. We've never even seen what's past it. So, it's simpler to say we created it, and that the council's the only one past it.
But why not be honest about it? Why not say that you just don't know? Are you too afraid to admit that there are things you don't understand? That's what this world is. That's what life is coming to terms with existence around us and learning how the world works and what the world even is. This place has been locked off to countless people who could have been researching it to try to unravel the mysteries of this door and what lies beyond. But countless decades, centuries even, of potential progress has been completely ruined because you just couldn't admit you don't know.
We understand that there is learning. And in the case of this door, we know It is technology even more terrifying than what almost undid the world. You are correct in that there is very likely to be knowledge which could do much good. It is also equally possible it is knowledge which could bring great ruin.
Should we really let that fear rule our entire lives? Anything could be used for whatever purpose anyone wants to put their mind to. She reaches down into her belt and she takes out like one of her hammers from her sets of tools. She's like, this right here is a tool. This is what I use to build and create and invent and innovate. This is a tool of creation and creativity. But if I so desired, I could just as easily take this and hit someone in the head with it until they die. Innovation always goes both ways. But just because there's the fear of someone doing something bad shouldn't outweigh the fact that there are countless other people who would use that to better the world. Yes, whatever we learn from this fantastical technology could very well be used for evil. But what happens if we keep everyone in the dark, and then it's only the people who would use it for evil who learn how to use it? Then everyone is ill-equipped to deal with it. What about the invention of the spear from our most ancient of ancestors, or a bow and arrow? They were tools used to hunt, to feed, to provide, for care, and they're just as easily able to be turned on other people as weapons. We can't let this fear rule who we are. We have a duty as people who are scientists, as innovators, as engineers, to learn everything we can and apply it to what is good as much as possible. Not to lie to people about where something like this came from. Listen, anyone would be able to hear she's like kind of fighting back tears. She goes, I love this place. I love the Gnomish people. You kind and caring, and you took me in when a cruel world around me would see me cast to the side. As disappointed as I am, you people are my family, and this place is still my home. And I would love to still be welcome back here. Out of respect for everything you have done for me, I will keep the information that you taught me, that you said was forbidden. I will keep that hidden away, and I will keep that secretive. I am telling you right now that I have seen things out there, and I have learned things, and what I learn on my own, I will use to change the world. By the time I die, if any gnome steps outside of this city, they will be met with a world that was foreign to them when they first came to this place. I will leave behind me an entire legacy, an entire generation of inventors and innovators and engineers and thinkers, people who are willing to make the world a better place, and not a bunch of people who are too afraid to create.
have a passionate mind. And is the reason that we determined you are ultimately the only one who would ever be permitted to actually use this door one day. All I ask is take that passion and temper it with caution. It is my utmost hope you do exactly as you say, and you make a world that is as beautiful as you say. As he clutches his chest and rubs his throat a little, making a pained face. I have seen what the sirens did to the world. I lived when their empire was wiping out civilizations. So, indeed, I personally fear. I can't say the same for all gnome kind. But I also believe you have the possibility of doing real good. Just please temper yourself with caution. You may go and open the door. Learn and innovate. You seem to already understand that it is a box of curses uncountable which you will open. I only pray for the best. And he seems to then relax himself to ease whatever strain speaking puts on him. And with that, you have your freedom here.
She's going to turn around and look at Nerman. She glances back at the door, and then she looks over to him. And she holds the cube out to him. And she goes, I think you should be the one to do the honors.
He smiles warmly and chuckles. Oh, no, not I. You earned it. I appreciate the gesture, but no, you're the one that came here. Not to mention, technically, it'd be quite the breach of my agreement with the good Silent Knight. I said I'd never set foot in there.
Very well. She will turn and she will walk up to this door. Before she slots the cube in place, she will look over at this gnome. And she'll say, I have been a little too harsh. Sorry. I have to ask if it is even your place to make this decision.
Okay, I didn't quite catch the whole thing. Did she ask, was it even his place to make the decision?
Yeah, she says, I don't even know if it's your place to make this decision. And she goes, after the things that I've said, is this place still my home?
He nods. A slow and a thoughtful, contemplative one, yet a nod, an affirmation. Indeed.
Thank you. Whatever else happens in this whole meeting down here, as far as I'm concerned, not a soul outside of those present here will know that this happened. Unless you deem fit to reveal it otherwise, I will keep this unknown. And she will reach up and put the cube in its place.
As you reach the Aurorum battery cube up to the slot illuminates even before you actually fully insert it. Though once placed within, the entirety of the door illuminates in inscriptions. It powers on. There is a voice which speaks, and you hear words spoken in natural goblinish. You hear, what do you find most important in the world?
This completely catches her off guard, and she seems kind of stunned and confused for a second. And she responds in Goblin. She says, to learn, to understand the world around us, and to do our best to pass that knowledge on to all who are willing to know it.
And you hear a sound of some mechanism moving, a hiss as a seal is released. The door then splits and opens. It is a hallway, about 10 feet long, another door on the opposite side. Most likely an airlock door, as you've seen throughout the rest. Though this looks untouched. The air, even which flows out, tastes and smells cleaner than any air you've ever felt. Preserved to absolute perfection. Lights flicker on and illuminate the hallway in a cool bluish glow.
We will go in.
Okay. Does anybody else try to follow her?
I don't like the word try there.
Nisha will cry.
Yeah, same here.
trips over her own feet.
Breaks neck.
As
Gavin.
you approach, in each of your most native languages, you hear that same question. What do you value most in all the world?
Life.
Okay. Alright, you successfully passed through the doorway. Lisa?
Faith. Faith that no matter what happens, things will get better.
You successfully passed through the doorway.
Gavin will step up. And in a language nobody recognizes, he will answer, truth. Any and all truth, above everything, even if it is to the direct benefit, immediate benefit of none. And my wife. And children.
You successfully passed through the doorway. And as soon as you finish stepping through, Gavin, with the whole party being presently in, the door providing entry closes. 2 or 3 seconds pass, and the other door opens. It is dark on the other side, though it at least looks like the room is decently large. Zerzan, I'm presuming you will take the first steps through.
Yeah.
Lisa grabs her, pulls her back, steps forth.
No! It is me!
No, she picks her up and throws her through.
Alright. So, you step forward, Zerzan. As you do, you can tell that the room is dome-shaped. As lights come on, illuminating the room in a relatively cool blue, it's almost like Norman's workroom in a way. There's a small cot off in one end. There's tables, some lab equipment lining the circumference, control consoles of a variety you've only seen in the other Auroran facilities. And in the center is a series of control consoles and a column rising from floor to ceiling. It looks like there are panels which can rise into the ceiling that seem to be shielding something within. What you doing?
Man, I don't know. For a moment, she's just gonna be kind of like taking it all in. Um, uh, my brain has been sort of drifting back and forth between actually being present and whatever other random thoughts are popping into my head. Did you mention there were some like consoles and stuff around, or am I just fabricating that in my brain?
You heard that accurately.
Okay. She would approach one of these consoles to see if she could make any sense of it.
At first, no, though after a few moments, it appears to translate into written Goblinish. And what you're able to discern is that it's a list of logs. And there are a lot, I'ma tell ya.
Oh Lord. Um, are they like? Are they sorted by topic? Are they sorted by timeline? Sort of how is it laid out?
By Indeed timeline, it appears that they are separated by year, and there are over 90,000 of them.
Whoa.
I think we just walked into Zerzin's heaven.
I need to make a new character sheet, not because Zerzin died, but because she ain't doing shit else now. She's going to keep that in mind for now and come back to that later.
Mhm. Most of what you can find on these other consoles are similar type things. Records, data, readouts, some experiment logs. Most of what seems to be around the circumference is like general data keeping, bookwork type stuff.
Bunch of boring nerd stuff. Um, Aside from the consoles, and you mentioned it looked like a otherwise like a workshop sort of area. Um, what else did you mention was in here?
There is the workshop area. There's a cot and like a little more living space oriented area. And then the column in the center and the consoles which are specifically centered around that. Like encircling it. Except for one section on the opposite side of the door where there appears to be a small like very gentle inclined ramp up to the center.
She will start going that way.
Okay. You do you step up the ramp, or are you just kind of looking at the center column?
She will go up the ramp.
Okay. You approach, and it feels slightly cooler right next to this. You can hear maybe some kind of pump functioning very quietly. A sound of other mechanical things, like, not even sure how to describe it, but it seems that they are doing accurate keeping, whatever machinery is present here.
this might come out of left field a little bit.
Uh-huh.
She's gonna take a look at Weevil, the little homunculus she made way back, and see if it's reacting to any of this in any way. Just more out of curiosity than anything.
You look down to Weevil, and you see that he has been quite loyally staying nearby your side, but as you actually make contact with him, he raises one of his forelegs, straightens out the tip of it, splays it out as if fingers, and then puts it forward and flattens them, as if putting it against a wall.
Putting it against a wall?
Indeed. He's kind of doing this just like in the air, while making eye contact with you. He's mimicking the motion of putting your hand up against a wall.
Then she will do that. Using her best guess of where it is he's directing, and just do as he demonstrated.
Splendid.
Roll intelligence for guessing.
We'll be right back, folks.
Oh.
Koga's saying, "Are we allowed to talk yet?" Right then and there. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh man. Oh my.
Hi.
As you place your hand, and the nearest wall surface is the column in the center. As you place your hand there, you are encompassed by a mental presence, and the next thing that you are aware of is you are sitting in a chair, and opposite you is a being that you have never seen before. This being sits there with 4 arms. His 2 pairs of hands are tented before him as they're leaned on his knees. A short tail swings side to side behind him, and he wears a set of what might be equatable to a tunic and simple pants, artistically dyed and colored, and with pouches aplenty. His eyes, vertically slitted, look to you. I had hoped one day I might meet you. You may not know me. However, you are a mind not unlike my own. It has been many more years than I would bother counting. This is the first time I've been awake. Zelbeth is my name. You?
Hold on one moment. She just kind of stares for a moment. And she's like, your name is Zelbeth? Hello?
Indeed. Zelbeth. Xelbeth. As it would be spelled in your people's tongue of common.
Okay. She like takes in a deep breath and exhales to try to visibly calm herself. And she goes, okay. My name is Zerzan. I've been looking for you, apparently. You said you were looking, or at least in part wanting to speak to me?
Indeed. As I said, you're a mind not unlike my own. You've seen the technology of my kind, haven't you? Visibly?
Yes. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Not at all. Were I in your shoes, I'd be just as excited. We'll have plenty to talk about. Though, before I let you run rampant, I'd have a favor.
Yes.
Where we sit here, my last sanctuary, where I have hidden myself away, it is not fully powered. What I would ask is dangerous, perhaps foolish. I would need your help to fully repower this place, that I might actually awaken. I have some long unfinished business, and I believe your hand is the best that is available to help me. Are you willing?
I will absolutely do everything I can to help.
Splendid. Then, I would say, calm your mind as much as possible.
I'll do my best.
Okay. Now, considering the time, we will leave it at this bit of a cliffhanger to hop back with the rest of the group to close
Yay.
things off.
Wahoo!
Sweet.
The stats is basically just the alignment of the beast within. In order to take that alignment, the person has to give in. They're not fighting against it.
Well, hello there.
Hi.
Hi.
P, as they say.
Yahoo!
Better
Yeah.
be careful. We'll yip your pee in a minute here.
What?
Whoa!
Now I know that sounds bad.
But wait until you hear this. No.
Because it is.
All right, everybody. Well, that was a good session. We
Oh, we're over?
Look at the time, boy.
Oh, wow, Lana and Lisa didn't even get her sick-ass motorcycle. Wow, what's even the point of being in this life?
Joke's on you, Koga. Lisa is the motorcycle now.
She's the fucking, that one common writer. Excel!
all right.
No, she's a wear motorcycle.
Where
But yes, this has been a good session. For once, we have made good use of our time. I think we got a decent good bit done. So, I'm quite happy. And I hope you enjoyed as well. Now, normally I'd say that we play every other week, but who fucking knows at this point, so just
See you in 3025.
Well, I don't know, Sarah. Maybe if you, I don't know, stream Spelljammer, you'll have one every. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm not gonna start streaming a campaign that we are like over halfway through.
Well, you can do it after the adventure's over.
I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you whenever next we do this.
I hope you
Bye-bye.
don't enjoy it. I hope you don't see us.
Well,
I'm a hater.
Goodbye.